Hey guys, I have a message that the divine put on my heart to talk about today, and it's on energy and energy lines and our energy and creation and manifestation and how that all kind of links together. And there's a term that talks about how life follows art, and for years for me, I always thought about like, oh my goodness, like how does that even make sense? Life following art. Art follows life because life is reality and art is what we express. But there's a whole way that media manipulates our energy and directs us and kind of feeds off of us, feeds into Addie. Thank you. Feeds into the pendulums, and that's a whole nother topic about pendulums and energy swings and pendulum is like the greater energy and focus and push kind of the matrix of the society. But media has a big influence on the pendulums, on societal perspectives. And so life following art relates to the energy grid around the planet and how we tap into that, and how through the matrix they're able to tap into that. But if you could imagine like this huge spider web around the planet, like just really intricate, that's what goes around the planet as far as energy, and there are different vibrations, different levels, different energy levels. Just like we have on the streets, we've got the electrical wires that go and carry electricity to people's houses. They're under the ground now, they're in the air, they go along the streets. And then you've got the internet service and the Wi-Fi. These are all energy channels and frequencies that we are able to tap into. Radio waves, through the radio. We've got telephone. So there's all these different energy waves that are close to the planet, and then there's also energy waves that go around the planet. And they know this because they've discovered, like with migratory birds, that these birds are able to travel thousands and thousands and thousands and hundreds of thousands of miles around the planet, and be hatched one place and migrate to another place and then go back and lay their eggs in another place. They're able to do that because they follow, a lot of times it's visually, they're following these energy lines that they can see, but that we can't see because our eyesight is so limited. We only see about 1% of the visual light spectrum. And so there's like 100% visual light, right? 100% light spectrum. We only see 1%. Like our vision is just so incredibly limited. But these birds can see different vibrations, different energy levels, different waves of light than we can. And light and energy, it's the same thing, right? And so with that said, like if you're someone who thinks things and then finds them happening in your 3D, you are someone who vibrates on a really high energy level, right? You make things happen. Many of us do, and a lot of times it's negative things. Negative things are so much more easy to manifest because our emotions get like it's easier to be kind of at a resting state, and we'll just call a resting state a negative vibration, like because that's like low vibe, right? We just kind of our it's like we have to train our emotions and our frequency to remain high. But for many people, and the way our society is set up, it encourages us to stay at a low vibration. There are so many things that pull our vibration down, that pull that energy down, that attract that energy to stay at a low state. And when you stay at a low state, your emotions are low, and that our emotions help us, our imagination and our emotions combined help us to manifest things, to bring things into reality. And so whatever our consistent vibration is, it's on that level, and things that associate with that energy frequency that tend to manifest most frequently in our lives. And so if you're someone that finds that you think of things, right, and they show up right away, you know, like you have a thought and then there's an ad. I mean, I find that I can think something and I walk into a room that has a TV on, and the next commercial that comes on is about whatever it was I was thinking about. Like, it is crazy, right? But a lot of times, like on our whatever apps or whatever, if you watch TikTok, I don't do TikTok, but if you watch TikTok or YouTube or I don't even know how, I don't do X either, but you know, like on any of these sites, right, you may find that you think of something and then the next thing that pops up on there, or sometime that day, for me it's usually right away, you know, it's something related to exactly what it was you were thinking, the topic that you were thinking about. And that is a vibration. And what happens is that when many high vibrational people, right, like technology works on through a certain vibration, you know, so technology is super, I'm not going to say it's 5D, but it works on a really broad frequency, a high frequency. It's you know, higher than not that it's high vibe as in positive, but that the frequency level that they have tapped into to power technology. When you are high vibe, you intersect with that, just like on a spider's web. Like, so many of those lines in the web intersect and they interconnect. And so when you let's say this is the spider web, and when you are a high vibe person, your energy is going up and through that area, you know, it intersects with that same level that technology is working on. And so your energy goes even higher, but it vibrates at a level that passes through and interacts a lot with technology, so that technology is able to intercept what it is that you are thinking, that you are putting out. Because we are, like, we look at ourselves so often because what we see is our physical body, but our energy is so much greater. And if you have practiced expanding your energy, right, expanding your vibration, then you know that your energy can encompass a really broad area. And I know they say, oh, people's energy can go up to 10 feet, but really your energy, I mean, you can expand your energy like miles, you know, and you may not be able to keep it at that level, but when you practice, you can expand it out even further. And there are techniques that people that do to be able to do that, and that's one way that people are able to influence like mass amounts of people, because they have been able to expand their energy out far to influence other people. The key is always being able to hold a state. But so for instance, for me, right, the other morning, wasn't this morning, was it this morning? It was either this morning or yesterday morning. Sorry, I had a really long day at work today. I woke up, oh no, it was yesterday morning. So yesterday morning I woke up and I was laying in bed and meditating on my feelings and my thoughts about being seen, about, you know, being confident and healed in that way, and embodying who I believe myself to, who I know myself to be, and being confident enough in that to exhibit it without doubt and without inconsistencies, but just constantly standing in that state, right? Expressing myself in that confidence and leaving behind the doubt and the fears and insecurities and the baggage from the past, but just being, embodying who I believe myself to be at my core and who I desire to be, and those being one, you know? And so so I was kind of laying down, meditating on that. And then when I got up and picked up my phone and opened my my YouTube app, the first commercial that popped up, I mean, it just popped up and started playing. It was literally on everything that I was meditating on. And then the first video was also on that. It was on Being Seen by an amazing YouTuber who just like totally inspires me. But it was totally on what I had just laid and was meditating on for about half an hour. And that, you know, like many of us have those experiences, and it's because our energy is going out. And also what I've realized in a more concrete way is that as we sleep and we travel, right, we leave energy trails, you know. So it's kind of like the snail goes along, and you may not see the snail, but it leaves these glowing kind of trails, right? And so when we go to sleep, many times, especially those of us who are aware, I believe everybody travels to different dimensions, well, or can, but many of us are aware that we do. And there's a trail that we leave. And so what I've been seeing over time, like through this other day and other times, is that I think of things and technology is picking it up. And part of that is because I believe as we sleep, we've got our phones on. Like I use my phone as an alarm. So my phone is very near me, right? And so my decision is to purchase an old school hard case alarm, you know, so I can set that up and, you know, instead of using my phone for an alarm, I'm going to turn my phone off at night. Like turn it off at night. Use the alarm to get up and turn my phone back on and see, one, help separate myself from the energy of the internet and always being interconnected with our level of technology, but kind of give a little separation of that. Okay, so I said that. You know, because I think that some of us, we're like, oh, I'm going to detox from this, I'm going to detox from that. But that's a great way to start creating distance and creating, pulling back our own energy. I know something I've been doing recently is I get up in the morning and at night and I just sit my hands and my feet together and just kind of try to pull back my energy and pull it back in from wherever I scattered it throughout the day, just pulling that back in, centering myself and filling myself back up. That's one of the things I've been doing, and I believe this will also help do that and pull it back in and stop feeding the matrix in that way. There was something. Okay, so the thing about like life following art is part of a lot of the negative stuff going on in our society is through media, and not just the news. When I say media, I don't just mean the news. I mean, the news can be pretty negative, but it's through through advertising, through, I mean, the world really started changing rapidly once TV came in and once advertising came in. And once you look at the movies and the stuff that's promoted and the amount of violence and the amount of hatred and the amount of dysfunction that we watch, right? And that we call entertainment. You look at the amount of just like movies that have like senseless amounts of unaliving people and just horrors in them, you know, and just dysfunctional relationships after dysfunctional relationships. And you look at that and we watch that and we feed on that, and our emotions and our imagination bring that energy into life. It brings it from the screen into energy that manifests it in our 3D. And like another example from my own life, and hopefully this inspires you to look at your own life and to be more aware and more observant of what is going on in your life, and the impact, the things that impact, that come into your 3D, and even being able to see little ways that you manifest, because it will help encourage you in your confidence in manifesting. Because if you're manifesting in these little unconscious ways, then you can also manifest anything you desire consciously. But so another area or way that I want to express that I've seen manifest to inspire you to see it in your own life is like I was reading this book, and it wasn't smut. It was just, I don't know, I didn't even finish the book, but it was on this woman. Maybe it was a little bit, but I didn't finish it because it was on this woman who was in her 40s, and she met this rock star who was like 20 years old, right? And he was hitting on her, and he just wanted to have this relationship with her, and you know, and so they got involved. And I tell you what, while I was reading that book, I had so many 20-year-olds hitting on me. I am not even making this stuff up. I had so many 20 plus year olds, not like 20, but 25, 26, 27, you know, like even like early 30s, hitting on me. Like, it was crazy, absolutely crazy. And you know, a few of them still call me, but yeah. So I put the book down because I'm like, okay, I can't even handle this. Like, this is a little too much for me. And it's a good example that shows that our emotions and our creativity, our imagination, bring things from the ether into reality. It brings things, so to speak, off the page into tangible reality, into our experience. And you know, like if we can do things like that, we can create and manifest and bring into the 3D anything we desire. It's just a matter of believing we deserve it, knowing that we deserve it, embodying the person, the type of person, the type of lifestyle, that just whoever we believe is someone that embodies those things, receives those things, gets those things, and being it and holding that energy, not just like fluctuating, because there will be fluctuation, you know, you'll go down and up, but then you get to a steady point, right, where it's flowing quickly, and you stay in that energy of believing that you are the person that believes this, that lives this, that deserves this, that receives this, whatever it is that you desire. So, you know, I guess what it comes down to is us being aware of where we are putting our emotions and our imagination, and being a lot more conscious. Like, even I know a lot of people like horror films, and they like this kind of thing and that kind of thing, but we really have to consider, like, does that benefit our personal life, right? I know when I was married, there was certain stuff I couldn't watch because if I watched it, it had an impact on my marriage, you know, like, I mean, I know it's kind of weird, and but that's the reality. Like, if I watched some crazy marriage stuff, then I'm telling you, like, stuff would just, like, happen. And so, you know, I've most often been very conscious about the stuff that I watch because I am impacted by it. Like, I used to love CSI, and the thing about CSI is that, like, everything gets resolved. You know, like the old school CSI, I can watch anything that gets resolved. I have to watch it all the way through, otherwise I have nightmares. But if it's resolved and good wins over evil, like, you know, for the most part, then I'm good. But, like, I can't watch stuff that is dark just for the sake of being dark, and there's no restitution, there's no like, good doesn't win. That totally messes me up. But we do need to watch, like, what we're doing and where our energy is going, and being so much more in control of it, so much more aware of where it's going, and to claim it back. And so, again, I just want to encourage you to try it. Try getting an alarm clock and turning your phone off at night, because that's what I'm going to try, and see if that has an impact on the amount of energy that we're able to claim back, and even the ability to hold higher states of energy more consistently and longer, like more high vibrational, when we pull ourselves away from it. So that's just what the divine put on my heart. I write notes because my brain just kind of goes all over the place. But, you know, if something stood out to you, if it inspired something in you, you know, leave a note, leave a message, hit the like button, and hopefully this is something that sits with you and that you can meditate on in your life, or you can see it, you know, in days and weeks to come. You can see the impact, and it comes to life. And so, peace. Thank you for joining me, and I'll talk to you soon.